For the poem by Ovid, see Fasta. For the inscribed versions of the calendar, see Roman calendar. In ancient Rome, the Fasta were chronological or calendar-based lists, or other diachronic records or plans of official and religiously sanctioned events. After Rome's decline, the word Fasta continued to be used for similar records in Christian Europe and later Western culture. Public business, including the official business of the Roman state, had to be transacted on dies fasta, allowed days. The fasta were the records of this business. In addition to the word's general sense, there were fasta that recorded specific kinds of events, such as the Fasta Triumphales, lists of triumphs celebrated by Roman generals. The divisions of time used in the fasta were based on the Roman calendar. The yearly records of the fasta encouraged the writing of history in the form of chronological annals, which in turn influenced the development of Roman historiography. Etymology. Fasta is the plural of the Latin adjective fastis, most commonly used as a substantive. The word derives from fes, meaning that which is permitted, that is, that which is legitimate in the eyes of the gods. Fasta dies were the days on which business might be transacted without impiety. In contrast to dies nefasta, days on which assemblies and courts could not convene. The word fasta itself came to denote lists organized by time. The temporal structure distinguished fasta from register, which were simple lists of property, or assets, such as land or documents, or transactions transferring property. The Roman official chronicles, Fasta magistrales, annal or historici, were concerned with the several festivals, and everything relating to religious practice and the gods. And the magistrates, to the emperors, the birthdays, offices, days consecrated to them, with feasts and ceremonies established in their honor or for their prosperity. They came to be denominated magni, great, by way of distinction from the bare calendar, or fasta diurni. The word fasta thus came to be used in the general sense of annals or historical records. Fasta consules were official chronicles in which years were denoted by the respective consuls and other magistrates, often with the principal events that happened during their consulates, but sometimes not. An example is the Fasta Capitolini, a modern name assigned because they were deposited in 1547 in the courtyard of the Palazzo dei Conservatori on the Capitoline Hill on order of Alessandro Farnese, who kept them temporarily in his villa after their excavation from the Roman Forum in 1545 or 1546. Michelangelo, who designed the complex of three palaces on the hill, also restored the tables of the Fasta. The Palazzo today is one of the Capitoline museums, which serve a double duty as museums and city government buildings. The Fasta are located in the Sala della Lupa, the same room as the Bronze Wolf. More pieces discovered after the Renaissance were placed with it. Discovery. The Fasta consules were discovered as 30 marble fragments in the Forum. With them were 26 fragments of Acta Triumphum, since called the Fasta Triumphales. Both lists were restored as distinct records. The restoration was based nearly entirely on the observations of Onofrio Panvinio and Piero Ligorio, who were standing at the top of the trench in which a portion of wall was showing, featuring inscription on material between pilasters. They conferred with Michelangelo. Pope Paul III had authorized the mining of stone for St. Peter's in 1540, and Michelangelo was in fact protestingly working on its design also. The Pope was following the widespread convention that prevailed in the Renaissance of ripping up the structures of the past to reuse in building structures they considered even more magnificent. The scholars were collaborating to save what they could. A resident colony of quarrymen did not pause in the slightest but went on dismantling buildings. All trace of structures in that part of the Forum vanished between August 15 and September 14, 1546. The stone was sold to cutters for reuse or to lime burners for the creation of cement. None of these proceedings were in any way archaeological. Cardinal Farnese assigned the scholars to watch the diggings. Collecting a team, they moved swiftly to rescue what they could, sinking tunnels to the side to search for fragments. Subsequently, more fragments turned up embedded in buildings then in use, showing that the area had been less intensely mined previously, and casting doubt of the location of the original source of the fragments. It has been estimated that the consular lists were in 4 entablatures several feet high, covering AUC 1 to 364, 2, 365 to 461, 3, 462 to 600, IV, 601 to 745, running to 766 in the margin. They were not published, however, as 2 lists. Instead, Marliani in 1549, Sigonius in 1550, Robortelli in 1555 and others chose to combine the information into a unified list, which was carried forward under the name Fasti Capitolini. The editors took certain freedoms, such as filling in missing magistrates from other records as they thought best and filling in missing dates AUC to give the appearance of a continuous yearly chronicle, at the same time concealing the problems. Typically representations under the name Capitolini are not that. There were in fact 2 different original lists placed under that name to which were added fragments found in 1816 to 1818, 1872 to 1878 and a final one from the Tiber River in 1888, unrestored. All the fragments became Kili under Fragmenta Quaedicunta Capitolini, fragments called Capitolini, and Cetera que supersent Fragmenta. Other remaining fragments, content. The unified list states the magistrates for each AUC from the first year of the first king to the death of Augustus. The marble entablatures were erected at the order of Augustus based on information available to the Romans then. Although the nature and validity of this information remains unknown, the degree of detail suggests that they were based on previous Republican chronicles. The identification of their ancient location is controversial. The 2 theories are that they were in or part of the Regia, or palace, of the College of Pontiffs, or that they were on a commemorative arch Augustus had constructed. The Fasti state a list of kings followed by the Republican consuls for each year, with the Magistri Equitum and the Tribuni Militares for years in which these magistrates were eponymous instead of consuls, that is, once the practice of naming the year after the heads of state began, there had to be a head of state, whether king, dictator, consul, master or tribune, regardless of what body held the power. The list features multiple dating schemes. To the right are years from the beginning of the Republic preceded by an, or an, for anno, in the year. To the left every 10 years is a numeral stating the AUC year starting with CCXC. The length of reign is given for the kings. In addition, 5-year lustrations and the censors conducting them are stated, which list is sometimes called the Fasti Censorii by moderns and stated as a third Fasti Capitolini. Feeney argues that the multiple scheme is evidence that the Fasti were Augustan rather than Republican. The kings are given precedence at the top and the AUC at the left as though they were superimposed on a formerly Republican Fasti. Moreover, the 5-year lustra date to 28 BC when the Temple of Mars Ultor, the imperial god, was constructed and took precedence over the Temple of Jupiter on the Capitoline. After that time the emperor must be one of the censors, who now presided over banging in the yearly nail at Mars Ultor instead of Jupiter. Dating the Republican dates given to the right are those of the Varronian chronology, that is, those calculated by the scholar Marcus Terentius Varro. His republic begins in the year 510–509 BC by modern calculation. These were the official imperial dates. Many other dates and chronologies existed, notably those of Livy, with which the emperor must have been familiar, but he did not forbid their use in unofficial contexts. The AUC chronology does not exactly correspond. It is later than the Varronian by a year. Censorinus, who went over Varro's calculations, he says, explains that Ulpius and Pontianus were consuls in the 1014th year from the refounding of the Olympic Games, that is, Olympiad 254.2, and that this year was AUC 991, starting by modern calculations January 1, 238 AD. Varro's AUC 1 therefore was 753 BC. The further identifications of Ulpius and Pontianus remain a mystery, as they are only named by Censorinus. But the names are irrelevant to the argument. The Republic began in Varro's view in AUC 245. Solinus observed that Gaius Pompeius Gallus and Quintus Veranius were consuls in Olympiad 207.1, and that this year was 801 AUC, counting from the foundation of Rome at Olympiad 7.1. By modern calculation this is 49 AD. He was relying on the official dating scheme, which must have been the Fasta Consulares. In Varro's chronology this is AUC 802. Simple subtraction shows that AUC 1 in Augustus a Fasta is 753 BC. The Fasta give to the start of the Republic a date of 244 AUC, but some editors correct all the AUC to Varronian. Similarly, the Fasta run to the death of Augustus in 13 BC. This is not a difference in the starting date of the Republic or the year of Augustus' death, which remain in the same years relative to surrounding events in either case. Instead, the year of AUC 1 differs. Fasta triumphales contained a list in chronological order of persons who had obtained a triumph, together with the name of the conquered people, and of the priests. Fragments of such a list were found mixed in with the fragments of the Fasta Capitolini, were also restored by Michelangelo and are in the same room at the Palazzo dei Conservatori. The Acta Triumphorum were on 4 panels, covering AUC 1 to 452, 2, 453 to 532, 3, 533 to 625, and IV, 628 to 735, ending in 19 BC. The triumphs begin with those of Romulus. In the 1550s the fragmentary Fasta triumphales were unearthed and partially restored. Renaissance antiquarian Onofrio Panvinios de Fasta a Triumpha Minorum a Romulo Uscad Carolum v. Giacomo Strada, Venice, 1557, continued where the ancient Fasta left off. The last triumph recorded by Panvinio, which he described as a Roman triumph over the infidel, was the royal entry of the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V into Rome on April 5, 1536, which took place while Charles was marching northward after his conquest of Tunis in 1535. Priestly Fasta, the Annal Pontificum or Annal Maximi, Annals of the Priests, were annually exhibited in public on a white table, on which the memorable events of the year, with special mention of the prodigies, were set down in abbreviated manner. Other Fasta sacerdotala include the Fasta augurales of the augurs. Modern Fasta. In modern times the word Fasta and its reflexes in modern languages have been used formally for quasi-official writings of a diachronic character. Some examples are the official history and traditions of a regiment. In Scotland, the Fasta Ecclesia Scoticana, the succession of ministers in the Church of Scotland from the Reformation. Better source needed, the first volume of which was produced in 1915 which is still updated at irregular intervals. Between 1946 and 1987 the International Association for Classical Archaeology published the Fasta Archaeologici. It contained summary notices of excavations through the area of the Roman Empire. The Fasta went online and discontinued paper publication in 2000. The Fasta Online now contains reports on excavations since the year 2000 in 13 countries, particularly Italy, Bulgaria, Romania, Macedonia, Malta and Albania. See under external links below. Popular culture. The HBO television series Rome features a pontiff calling out the Fasta in the forum at the beginning of each episode. Bibliography. Feeney, Dennis. Caesar's Calendar. Ancient Time and the Beginnings of History. Berkeley, Los Angeles, London. University of California Press. ISBN 0-520-25119-9. Greswell, Edward. Origines Calendariae Italicii. Oxford. University Press. Hook, Nathaniel. The Capitoline Marbles, or Consular Calendars. An Ancient Monument. The Roman History from the Building of Rome to the Ruin of the Commonwealth, illustrated with maps vi. London. C&J Rivington, etc. pp. 369-484. Sigony, Caroli. Fasta consulares ac triumpha actia Romulo regiuscus T. Caesarem. Ejdem in Fasta se triumphos, id est in universum Romanum historiam commentarius. Venetiasa, MDLVI. Apud Paulum Manutium, LDF. Sigony, Caroli. Fasta consulares ac triumpha actia Romulo regiuscus T. Caesarem. Ejdem in Fasta se triumphos, id est in universum Romanum historiam commentarius. Hanovia, MDCIX. Apud Claudium Manium and Heredes Joan. Aubrey I.